Metallica hated music videos so much that they refused to make one for 8 years. Then they found a film so obscure it had almost completely disappeared from existence. They bought the entire movie, not just the rights to use it, so they would never have to pay royalties again. And the 7-minute video they built around it became the most important music video in the history of heavy metal. James Hetfield had been sitting with a single concept in his head for years before he wrote a single lyric. The concept was simple and horrifying. What if you were just a brain and nothing else? No arms, no legs, no eyes, no ears, no mouth. Just a mind, fully conscious, completely trapped, with no way to communicate with anyone or escape from your own body. He brought that idea to the band in 1987. His manager Cliff Bernstein heard the concept and immediately told Hetfield to read a specific book. A 1939 anti-war novel called Johnny Got His Gun, written by Dalton Trumbo. Dalton Trumbo was one of the most celebrated screenwriters in Hollywood history. He was also one of the most controversial. In 1947, he was blacklisted during the Red Scare, imprisoned for 11 months for refusing to testify before Congress, and banned from working in the film industry under his own name. He kept writing anyway using fake names. 2 of the films he secretly wrote while blacklisted went on to win Academy Awards. The winners could not accept under Trumbo's real name because Hollywood officially pretended he did not exist. In 1971, more than 30 years after writing the novel, Trumbo finally directed a film adaptation himself. It was the only film he ever directed. It shared the Grand Prix at Cannes with Milos Forman's taking off. And then it disappeared. Almost completely forgotten. Until Metallica found it. The novel told the story of Joe Bonham, a young American teenager who enlists to fight in World War I because his father tells him it is the right thing to do. A German shell explodes near him in a trench. Joe wakes up in a hospital bed. No arms, no legs, no eyes, no ears, no mouth. He breathes through a tube. The doctors believe he is in a vegetative state and cannot think. He can think perfectly. He is completely aware of everything. The only movement left to him is dropping his head against the pillow to tap out Morse code. He uses it to beg the doctors to kill him. When they finally understand what he is doing, they cover his window so he can no longer tell whether it is day or night. And they leave him there, alive and completely alone inside his own body. Hetfield read the novel and wrote the lyrics of one in direct response to it. The song is that soldier's story. Landmine has taken my sight, taken my speech, taken my hearing, taken my arms, taken my legs, taken my soul, left me with life in hell. The machine gun guitar riff that explodes at the end of the song was never planned to sound like gunfire. Hetfield and Kirk Hammett accidentally built a musical machine gun without ever intending to. They realized it mid-recording and kept it exactly as it was. One was the very first music video Metallica ever made. They had refused to make one for 8 years, believing MTV was a commercial compromise of everything they stood for. Then their managers Cliff Bernstein and Peter Mensch convinced them that this specific song needed a visual. The band agreed on one condition. They would not just license footage from the Trumbo film. They would buy the entire film outright. The reason was financial. Every single time the video aired on MTV, Metallica owed royalties to the film's rights holders. Rather than pay those fees indefinitely, they purchased the whole movie. A heavy metal band now owned one of the most celebrated anti-war films in cinema history. The video was shot in black and white in an abandoned warehouse in Long Beach, California on December 7, 1988. Director Michael Salomon intercut performance footage of Metallica with scenes from the film, dialogue intact, creating a 7-minute and 44-second short film that premiered on MTV on January 20, 1989. It was placed immediately into heavy rotation despite its length and subject matter. Lars Ulrich later said the response unlocked something they had not expected. It turned out there were many disenfranchised kids who wanted their music heavier and darker. The And Justice for All album went 8 times platinum in the United States. One was voted the 7th greatest guitar solo of all time by Guitar World magazine readers. And the film that Metallica bought to stop paying royalties became a cult classic, finally released on DVD in 2009, 38 years after it first premiered at Cannes. Dalton Trumbo died in 1976. He never knew that a thrash metal band from San Francisco would buy his forgotten film 13 years later and show it to an entire generation that would never have found it otherwise.